How you doing? This is Sean McVeigh with Sean's Outdoor Adventures. In this video, I'm going to do a review on the Xpedition MX16, and I have the opportunity today to be at the actual facility where they assemble the Xpedition bows. So that's pretty exciting for me. I just looked over the bow. I'm shooting all the bows today at 30-inch draw length and 70 pounds with a 5 grain per pound arrow, so 350 grain arrow. We've got about a 6 1/4-inch brace height on this bow, just under 33-inch axle to axle. It's about 32 3/4. We have it set up with the limb stops today. You can also get this bow and set it up for cable stops. My personal preference is I like that solidness of the back wall on a limb stop. Some people prefer a little bit of give, which you get with the cable stop. So let me go ahead and test the back wall for you and just give you a little sense of what it's like. Let me draw it back here. So again, this is with the limb stops. We're at 70 pounds, so real solid back wall. I'm going to let down. Okay, it's about an 80% let off, so it stays on the back wall pretty well. You have to let up with that muscle for it to come down. I've mentioned this before, I'll keep mentioning it in case you haven't seen my other videos, but my personal preference as a bow hunter is that 85% let off. I like that. 90% let off, although it's nice because you're not holding much weight. If you ever have to let down in a situation, it's kind of awkward and hard. You kind of push that hand forward, so I do like the let off. I have a nice feel to the grip. It has a little bit, just to try to give you a comparison, some bows, when you pick it up, you feel like it's very, very thin. We have some side plates in play here that gives it a little bit more of a feel to the grip, but obviously if you like that thinner grip feel, you can take those plates off and it's going to achieve that for you. But it's a plastic, and so it's nice and smooth, those side plates. And there's little tiny grooves in here where your finger and your thumb go, so it's pretty comfortable grip. One thing I noticed right away when I pick up the MX16 is the cage in the top and the bottom of the riser here. This really helps to add rigidity to the riser throughout the shot process. Now I'm going to go ahead and shoot through the chronograph. I always stand 36 inches from the front of the chronograph. Everywhere I go, that gives me a little more consistency with my readings. All right, so let me give you some first impressions. This bow, very smooth, dead in the hand feel. When it goes off, there's virtually very little vibration, and it doesn't jump. It's not jumpy. It doesn't want to jump out of your hand. So a really nice experience shooting the bow. Let's head back over to the home office and go over some of the data that I captured here today. All right, here we are, folks. This is the home office a couple days later, and we are going to go over the MX16 data. Let's start off on the top left over here. My measured brace height came in around 6 1/4 inches. ATA was right around 32 3/4. The draw length came in just about 1/8 over 30 inches, so really pretty much right there. The draw weight, the peak draw weight came in at 70.4 pounds. And we have my little draw force curve here. Where that comes from, if you look over here on the right, I have the draw length in inches and then the corresponding draw weight where it was at as I cranked it back on the draw board. Now, in order to achieve these, you have to stop on each number and wait for the scale to stabilize in order to get an accurate reading. So that's the draw weight that I was acquiring at each phase of the process, and that's how that draw curve is drawn. So the arrows were 350 grains. All three shots came in at 340 feet per second. My decibel meter readings were right here, averaging 77.3 decibels. And all in all, this was a really nice shooting bow. I enjoyed it. I did like the the DLX just a hair more. They were both a very smooth, dead in the hand kind of feel, but the DLX was even a hair more than this bow, which is what really surprised me. If you haven't watched that video, make sure you do, because I was a bit excited. I was shooting them both back and forth, and I was like, wow, man, the DLX is the bow for me here. And so thanks be to God, they actually sent one home with me, and I am in the process of getting that set up right now. But both are really nice bows. This one provided a few feet per second more speed-wise. And you know, so if you're trying to get every edge, every little bit of speed, and you're going back and forth, this bow is a little faster than the other. It also has a slightly shorter axle to axle. I like a long axle to axle bow, but that feeds into my personal preference. That's why I always suggest everyone is going to have a little bit of variance with what they like. So get out there and make sure you do some shooting. That brings me to a conclusion for this. I am now going to, the next video is going to be the MX16. I have to go over the data and get that all figured out. And I hope you will stay tuned for that, because that bow is going to be even faster than the MX16. So if you have a shorter draw length, like I'm a 31 and a half really is my comfort zone. But if you're like a 30-inch draw, because that's all the farther that one's going to go, I mean, that's going to give you even more speed. So stay tuned to get the results for the MX15 in the next video. Until then, take care and God bless you.